Difficulty and tragedy is a part of life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us that He will test us in numerous ways. However, the test for each person is different. There is the person who is directly suffering in the tragedy. They have the test of being patient and resilient. Then there is the test for all the rest of us. How do we react to witnessing our brothers and sisters in tragedy? Particularly right now, as we witness our brothers and sisters suffering in Gaza and Palestine, how do we navigate that, and how do we reflect on the situation? How do we react? So what's very important is that we go back to the Quran and we go back to the life of the Prophet ﷺ to find guidance and direction about how we should react in these situations. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told the Prophet ﷺ, وَكُلًّا نَقُصُّ عَلَيْكَ مِنْ أَنْبَاءِ الرُّسُلِ, that all these stories of the prophets of the past that are being revealed to you, مَا نُثَبِّتُ بِهِ فُؤَادَكَ, that this is to give strength to your heart when you need it the most. The first moment of reflection that I wanted to share here from the Quran, from the Book of Allah, actually goes back to one of the greatest moments in Islamic history, in the history of this ummah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَقَدْ نَصَرَكُمُ اللَّهُ بِبَدْرٍ, Allah helped you at the place of Badr. وَأَنْتُمْ أَذِلَّةٌ, even though you were weak. You were weak. People overlooked you. People were looking down at you. But Allah helped you in that particular moment. How did Allah help you? Allah sent down waves upon waves, thousands and thousands of angels from the sky. بِثَلَاثَةِ آلَافٍ مِّنَ الْمَلَائِكَةِ مُنْزَلِينَ بِخَمْسَةِ آلَافٍ مِّنَ الْمَلَائِكَةِ مُسَوِّمِينَ. Allah sent His divine assistance and help to you. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَا جَعَلَهُ اللَّهُ إِلَّا بُشْرَى لَكُمْ. All of this happened to give you glad tidings and to give you the good news of the victory from Allah, and especially your status in the life of the hereafter. وَمَا النَّصْرُ إِلَّا وَلِتَطْمَئِنَّ قُلُوبُكُمْ بِهِ, and so that your heart could find contentment and peace in experiencing the help and the mercy of Allah. وَمَا النَّصْرُ إِلَّا مِنْ عِنْدِ اللَّهِ الْعَزِيزِ الْحَكِيمِ, and help only comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is almighty and who is all wise. We have to continue in these moments to keep going back to the promise of Allah and remembering that Allah has promised us His help. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, وَأُخْرَى تُحِبُّونَهَا نَصْرٌ مِّنَ اللَّهِ وَفَتْحٌ قَرِيبٌ, that the help from Allah and the victory from Allah is very near. وَبَشِّرِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ, and give this good news to the believers. Allah has promised us, وَكَانَ حَقًّا عَلَيْنَا نَصْرُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that He has promised us that He will help the believers if we remain committed to our faith and our iman, even at the most difficult of times. Keep remembering your brothers and sisters. Talk about what is going on with them and continue to pray for them and to pray for the whole ummah of the Prophet ﷺ, and keep believing in the help and the promise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.